What do you
All
guys
right.
think about Hangzhou?
They're an interesting team.
This is a
S-
stacked
the
roster,
more-
remember?
The more I look at, it's tough.
12-man roster, so they can run scrims against each other.
Yeah.
Where does Legion fit in all of this?
League,
That- that's
Where does Sue fit? Where do
Yeah.
any of those two players fit?
yeah, Shy
Like-
is a good pickup. And I want
Oh,
to see
yeah.
how that's going to
Shy
work with
is-
this rest of this team.
CD? Coda? Very
Who?
good. Oh, wait, no. Coda's been on this team. What am I saying?
Coldest is not on this team anymore. Oh no, he is. Sorry, we messed up. Coldest is flex support MCD. So how are you gonna shuffle between these two? Are you gonna
I think
prefer MCD?
That's a great question.
Is
Hey,
from China, isn't he?
Solid.
Yeah.
Mika is underrated.
You're gonna
I
get
think
a
Mika gets
Chinese roster with some gaps in the DPS. No, wait.
You're getting-
Yeah, it'll just be like one Korean DPS, one off tank, kind of just fills
It's-
all Chinese
Okay,
roster.
I'm gonna start from like the top and work my way down. Gooshroy had a down year. I think. Can we agree that Gooshroy is not like the main tank who had every like EMP? He got like single EMP'd every single time he touched the ground.
Objective
I don't-
was take down Gooshray, you take down the whole team.
I think Spark in general just had like a really poop year last year. So
It
I
was the spirit of the competitive
Finished
APAC
third.
region that they kind of suffered more than they overcame some of their challenges, especially with Architect coming on this team. And kind of like Dallas, you had all these Element Mystics players reuniting. Spark with reuniting X6 Gaming that Godspeed
Yep.
and Architect last played together.
Yep, them and Bebe.
Yeah, they really did manage to push themselves to the edge with the Countdown Cup, but what is going on? I think to make this team even better is to have this kind of bulk, but if it's not used efficiently, they just end up thinning it out. And
yes,
ain't man roster.
that's my worry.
Yeah.
You have flexibility all over, but I think some players are gonna get played more than others. And
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
shout out to my my homie Fuck It Summons too. Very good dude. I
Yes.
mean, I just don't get like. I mean, are you playing Liege? Are you playing Banar? Like, Banar is a very good off tank. Liege is also a very good off tank. What do you do with them?
They're likely to
guess they
probably
play
just
against
have roles, right?
Like, you could play them against each other in a 6v6 scrim. Like,
You could.
That's objective
they
what
have-
they're gonna
definitely
do, right? If they're flying out the Korean players to Hangzhou and their headquarters, works out for them and Billy Gaming. So their academy team, I think, has done so well and a very sleeper success for the entire roster and the org. That's gonna
Yeah.
look like it's a really good and well-meaning thing to do if you're trying to bring up esports in China.
Yeah.
Have some of the best on this team that try to work them in the Chinese roster. I think that is going to be their Achilles heel for a big team like this. I think they can go above Hangzhou. Problem?
Mm.
That's
How
that's
convincing
the
is that?
explosiveness of China right now, like APAC in general. Like
I
there
just-
are arguments for this team to maybe place above, maybe they place below. Like it I hate just going, well, guys, it's a toss up. It could be anybody's game. You know, you got to tune in. Like, but it feels that way. It like genuinely feels like everybody but Valiant probably could compete, and probably, hopefully, will compete. Like,
You know,
that's
it's like-
what's exciting.
So, like, number 5 in APAC could have, like, how many games get played? It could have,
Number
like,
5?
15 games. Like, no, like, how many games are there in the season?
16
There's no-
in the regular season.
Well, there's a minimum just of the seeding games, and then
Imagine
depending on how you
just,
see it.
like, 5th could literally just be, like, a game or two behind
Yeah.
second place.
Yep.
Like,
We'll get your
it's
rematches
just this
then.
team is so interesting. Like, most, like, I love APAC, but at the same time, it makes me mad.
It's tough to judge, right? 100%.
Yeah.
It's hard to get like a good like argument because they seem all so close. Hangzhou, in my assumption, it needs to kind of start off on the right foot. Obviously, most teams need to, but with this gigantic roster, I think that's when animosity starts to really build, is when I'm a benched player and I don't get to play and I watch my team lose and now I have to walk into scrims with, grumpy teammates, all of these little minor morale things start to build up. And if it's not properly managed, there is some volatility to these larger rosters where on paper there should be some flexibility to call upon towards the midseason, but if they really don't manage it well, it could end up being more of a detriment than it's probably worth.
Blow up right in their faces.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be honest. I think a player like Summonsoo probably just he's there. I think he's there because of PR. Glad to see him back. I'm glad to see Summonsoo back.
I mean, if I'm gonna
want this to be a PR stunt because Summonsoo has no relation to the actual Summonsoo. Right?
I'm
just a fan account.
Jersey when it's available. Like
I mean, if we're gonna take their social media on at their word, apparently he went through a pretty rigorous, trial process and performed well, and that's why they gave him a contract. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what his role is on this team, but if the coaches, again, I have to kind of give it to them and go like, okay, you must see something. I have to give you credit here or benefit the doubt.
I think Summonsoo also brings the sense. I don't know, like. Because he brings like the oh Jesus, that's the Nuggets coming back up. But I think Summonsoo brings like this leadership quality. I don't think he was ever like. Sure. I don't think. Yeah, he brings that vet. Like, I mean, there's a ton of veterans on this team
for sure.
But Summonsoo's been through everything. He's been through high highs and he's been through low lows.
He's been through trauma, honestly, for organization. Yeah, didn't want to keep him.
He got cucked by Luminosity, like most of the players on hashtag bring Fisher back in the Overwatch League.
And look, because the highest points of Summonsoo's career was on the Season 2 Vancouver, where he was playing quite a lot of Zarya. Yep. I mean, look, this is basically a team with 5 tanks, and you say 5 tanks, there's only 2 slots that he could flexibly join in. I think he's a great talent for both those roles, but seeing him on DPS, it would probably be a Godsby, Summonsoo kind of deal. Shy or Architect.
But then like, you have Shy. Architect.
Shy will definitely get in there somewhere. I mean,
that's the one saving grace when it comes to Summonsoo, is that if we've seen anything with hero pools, we could get anything. Again, I was very much like a main tank truther coming into playoffs last season. I'm like, there's no way it could be Zarya Roja. You guys are high. Like, there's no, like, look at all these different ways you can punish it, and lo and behold, that's exactly what we got. Like,
imagine if the team had Summonsoo just to come and play Zarya.
I mean, there is some truth to that. He has like a very weird hero pool that again could pay off.
Wacky hero pools somehow work out sometimes.
Again, it works out because the game is wacky as it is. Like hero pools,
like a double like flex DPS meta. Like we need someone to play Echo. We need someone to play like projectile heroes.
Farah, I don't know. Whatever. I'm open to whatever.
On Farah, you put if Summonsoo is a good Echo, put him on Echo.
Sure.
And it's just, I think this team can do a lot of good, but they can. I mean, like you said, Vol, if players get, some players are getting mad that they're not getting played. Summonsoo's like, you guys, why'd you guys sign me? Shy's over here like, excuse me, I'm the young gun here. You're the old head.
Right.
Well, I'm better than you. Also, Godsby is. I feel like no one ever talks about Godsby.
Old man strength, baby.
Like he's so underrated. Like Godsby just does his role.
It's the sign of the times when you see Godsby playing his best, and people still can't recognize it as what it is. It can be streaky. Like when I think of Happy, Godsby was a great foil whenever there was a Hangzhou Guangzhou matchup. So I'm really excited, as always, whenever I see just this big, comprehensive stack roster, then have to face a little something a little leaner, with not a whole lot of flexibility. So that's why you get those crazy metas from Hangzhou. It's just smaller teams having to work with what they've got. And if you're going to go crazy with Hangzhou Spark, could define the meta with such a meta if played. And I also think that's a double-edged sword where they just usually play to the meta. They're just gonna do their best to just hunker down and try to refine it and just know the meta enough to play it their best. And I think that's
Wait,
gonna
hold on,
be
let
their
me
success. They just stick to their guns, stick with what's live.
Katsubi and Takayan had some visa issues and we are working on them. Architect, Bernard, IDK, MCD, and Simmons, who have already spent a week,
Spent a week in
quarantine.
quarantine. One
Alright,
more
so
week
they're all
and they will train
together.
together. Ah,
It's been a-
okay.
So they're gonna be playing with each other maybe like a week or two from now.
It lines up.
Yeah, this is just
Sounds-
this has been
That's the 25th and today's 31st.
31st.
30?
Yeah, 31st for me.
It's been almost been a week.
Yeah.
And so by February they're gonna start playing with each other.
So give it some months. I think they've worked out something by then, and they've now
Good,
just sort of
alright.
got them into induction sort of boot camp level of catching up all their Korean
This
talent.
Toucan analysis of Hangzhou. You have a lot of players, which means you have a lot of flexibility, but then that can turn into players getting mad if they're not getting played, and then a big implosion happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
But there again,
yeah,
to APAC's credit, I won't say thriving, but at least a healthy tier 2 ecosystem. Let's say these players are unhappy that they aren't getting that playtime, they can immediately go two-way, go right down to Billy Gaming, and probably have the playtime or at least the motions to go through that they're looking for to stay warm, to continue to get practice. They have that opportunity to do that, and obviously 2021 has the more flexible contract rules. So again, definitely could be a possibility with the two ways. So again, there is another out for Spark. So it's going to be hard to screw this up. Obviously, anything can happen in the Overwatch League. So again, I won't take that off the table for them. But a team that has a lot of potential, but needs to execute before you can really give them credit yet.